Hi, millionaires. You are tuning in to Suddenly Still Podcast, episode 13. Today's topic we're going to discuss: don't play with God's people. We have to be careful with how we handle people because one thing you don't want to do is mishandle God's people. You know, those energy fillers, those people that can walk in the room and already know what's up. Those people that ask you questions that they already know the answer to just to see who you are within. Don't play with God's people. Those people that know that being integral is far more important than being loyal because loyalty goes wherever realness flows. Don't play with God's people. See, some people are meant to come in our lives for physical presence, and then others are meant to come in our life for actual presence. Presence could be financially helping you relieve burdens by helping you pay bills and by helping you get out of holes. And then sometimes people are just meant to be there for you. Their presence alone is all you need. You need a friend. You need someone that you can lean on when times come and troubles come and you don't know which way to go or where to turn. Don't play with God's people. See, God sent people for blessings or lessons, and we don't know which way it is or which which place they're meant to be in our lives until they're actively in our lives. And sometimes those people that God sent don't even know what they're coming for. They don't even know what role they're meant to be playing. However, we mishandle sometimes the people that God sent to help us. Whether it's meant for them to just love on us and cherish us and show us what friendship is like. We be so caught up into those friends that hurt us, those people that, messed us over. We be so caught into them that we don't even know like how to properly handle those people that God sent us. So therefore, we have to make sure that we're not mishandling those people that God places in our lives, because it's so crazy that when we're going through what we're going through, the first thing is, oddly enough, the first thing we take it out on is the people that love us the most, the people that are around us, the people that's going to answer the phone. See, we could be mad at Peter, but we're going to call Paul them just so that they can feel how we feeling, just to disturb somebody else's day sometimes. That's not okay and that's not cool. See, just because you're having a bad day don't mean you need to make somebody else have a bad day. But hey, that's another topic for another day. Don't play with God's people. See, sometimes God will send those dreamers a dream, and then they be scared to tell whoever it is for, or they might not even see whoever that dream is for. And then they come online or they come into contact with somebody that's going through something, and it be like sometimes God will send you a dream about somebody you don't even know. You ain't never heard of this person. You ain't never experienced this person, but here you are dreaming about somebody you don't even know. Sometimes God will send us dreamers those dreams be about the end of the world or about little specific things, just little forewarnings to go tell the people about what's about to happen or what's going on. Some dreamers don't even know the gift that they have. Some dreamers don't even know the power that they have within themselves. But in the end of the day, don't play with God's people. See, I'm a dreamer myself. I have dreams. God sent me vivid dreams. And oddly enough, the night before, and I did tell this story before, but the night before I took a pregnancy test, um, which was April 20th, April 20th, 2022, I had a dream that I was pregnant, but something was wrong. I wrote it down in my notes and I put, I had a dream that I was pregnant, but something was wrong. I wrote it down on April 21st, 2022, because that's when I woke up and I'm like, okay, let me go take a pregnancy test. I took a pregnancy test and it was positive. I didn't know anything was wrong. I didn't know anything was going to be wrong. I had forgot about that dream. Luckily, I write my dreams down. So as time progressed and I started getting sick, I'm like, well, okay, that's cool. I'm used to being sick because at least with my daughter, I was sick as well. So I've already had hypermesis. I know how this goes. And in the end of the day, my pregnancy turned out to be the way it did. I ended up having polyhydramnios. I ended up having hypermesis. I was sick my whole pregnancy. My son ended up having a condition called CDH, which is a congenital diaphragmatic hernia. He had it on the right side, so it's like something was wrong, but God didn't tell me exactly what it was because He only gave me that little bit just to forewarn me, that warning before destruction. He wanted to kind of prepare me for what it was I was about to face. But I didn't even know I was going to go through that. It's kind of like He gave me that forewarning ahead of time. I didn't know my son was going to pass. I didn't know he was going to pass in my womb. I didn't know everything was going to go wrong with me. I just had a dream that something was wrong. So don't play with God's people. It's been plenty of times where I've had dreams about things that just really was just so far fetched that okay, it's just a dream. Then there's times where I had dreams about people and I went to tell them about the dream, and then the dream be so crazy. It's like it's a deeper meaning than what I actually see at the surface. But I go try to tell them that. And I'm not saying I'm not no sidekick or nothing like that. I don't even play with that. I am a God fearing woman, and I do feel like God gives certain people gifts because He knows who can handle it. So don't mishandle God's people. Because in the end of the day, you may not experience somebody again. You might say you sorry, but then you be sorry until you sorry again. You might have a friend in your life, and that friend might be the person that's just so hard on you. That friend is so hard on you. They might seem like you can't, they won't let you breathe. Every time you try to do something, they try to tell you why you shouldn't do it. Or not just that, because sometimes that could just be them projecting. But it's those friends with good intentions. That one friend that might tell you, hey, don't do that because I experienced this. Or that friend that always got a story. Y'all ain't got one of them. That friend that always got a story about something that they actually went through so that you can feel a little bit more comfortable about what you're going through. See, sometimes it can be mistaken for something that it's not. It can be mistaken for like, oh, well, you trying to make this about you, or you trying to do that. No, 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 I'm not. Or no, no, they not. But in the end of the day, sometimes just to have that relatable story, like I love when I'm telling somebody something that I'm going through, and then they tell me, oh, I went through that before, or I understand what you're going through because I've been through that. Those are God's people. Them people that don't mind testifying. Them people that don't mind telling what God done brought them through. Them people that don't mind telling the goodness of God. Them people that don't mind saying, oh, I was down here before. Or them people that don't mind sharing their health journey. Them people that don't mind sharing about they stillbirths or miscarriages or things that they went through. Them people that don't mind sharing personal information with you just to show you that you're not by yourself. Just to show you that I did go through this and I overcame this. Or those people that those people that lost weight, and you be like, dang, how you lost weight? And they tell you all the things they did, and then you try it and it don't really work for you. But in the end of the day, you just be so glad that somebody told you a little bit something, a little bit different than somebody else told you. And then somebody else might tell you a little bit different than somebody else tell you. Because God might send you 5 people to tell you just a little piece of something. And your job is to add it all together. See, the math don't be math because y'all be so busy trying to look at the messenger and and be missing the message. Y'all be so busy judging people at the surface that y'all be missing what it is for you to get from them. Stop mishandling God's people. You might not ever experience it again. You know how they say love at first sight, and you only get one real love or one real true love. What if you fumble that person? What if you fumble them because you don't want to grow up, or you don't see that they're elevating, or they're trying to push you to elevate, or you're elevating at a different pace and they're not keeping up? Like, what if you fumble that? Or what if you're meant to help that person elevate? So then you're put in a position to help them, but that was gonna be your real love. They was down here while you was up here. They was down the rock for you while you was up here. But then you get up here, you forget about them down here. They're not going to be down here forever, and you ain't going to be up here forever. Don't mishandle God's people. See, we are all placed at different levels in life. We can't all grow at the same pace because in the end of the day, somebody got to be ahead. Somebody got to lead the pack, and somebody got to follow. You got the head and you have the tail, and then you have everybody in between. You are only as weak as your weakest link. That's why your job is to make those around you, make your circle strong. If you have a gift, you have something you can pour into your friends or your circle, boost them up. Make them stronger, because in the end of the day, those around you are those people that you should be able to lean on, even if it's just a conversation. Even if your friends, like them people that's not even, I ain't gonna even just say your family, your people, whether they friends or family, your people, you should be able to lean on your people at any given time. And that don't mean just burdening one person down. Like if you only got one friend, or you only got a half of a friend, or one cousin, or one auntie that you call, and they might get tired of hearing your voice, every now and then. I'm talking about leaning on your circle. That's why it's very important to make sure that when God sends you people, you cherish those people. You can have friends, y'all can have disagreements, you can have family members, y'all can have disagreements, but always reconcile if you can. And then when their season is up, let it go. But never move with ill intentions with God's people, because in the end of the day, for example, when it comes to me and my friends can disagree right now. I'ma still love them right after, because at the end of the day, it's okay for us to disagree. I am not that right or wrong or right, all this stuff. No. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I'ma tell you, and you should tell me, and that's just how it's gonna go. I don't want you to side me when I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe I'm in my feelings. I need to vent. Let me vent it out first, and it's a time and a place. But once I'm done venting, get me together, friend. Get me together because that's what I need. I need a friend that's gonna tell me the truth. That's gonna tell me, hey, you don't need to do this or you don't need to do that. Don't mishandle God's people. God will send you people just to help you, not lead yourself to destruction. See, that's why when it comes down to like the plans that we have for ourselves and things that we have, planned for our lives, and why things don't go according to plan, because God's plan is not always our plan. And when our plans don't align with God's plans, it's hard for us to accept that His will and His way is the right way. But then, have you ever had a plan, and then that plan don't work out, and then later on down the line, maybe months, weeks, or years down the line, you see exactly why God stopped that from happening? Especially when I have a situation where I was going to start a trucking company. I had a trucking company since 2020. I kept on trying to get this truck, kept on trying to get this truck. I literally drove from Florida to Atlanta in about 5, 6 hours, about 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I left me and my daughter to go put money down in this truck, called my accountant to send the money over and all of that. And literally every truck that I had tried to get in Florida, they kept selling them. They kept selling them. This was 2021, well, 2020, beginning of 2021. So I'm like, okay, drove to Atlanta, go see the truck, took a picture in front of the truck, left to call my accountant and say, hey, go send the money. By the time my accountant was about to send the money, um, the co-owner of the truck sold the truck to someone else. And I'm just like, Lord, this is like the sixth truck. I'm tired of seeing trucks. I'm over it. Like, if this is not meant, then don't let it be. I had already prayed that in the beginning. So when things weren't going right, I'm just like, okay, God, what you trying to tell me? What you trying to tell me? So months go by, probably 6 months, 6 to 8 months after I kind of like just start giving up on the trucking business. The trucking business started slowing down. Everybody in the trucking industry was pissed off about being in the trucking industry. All the owner operators that I knew, they were coming off the road. Everybody was coming off the road that can come off the road. I'm like, okay, I see what you was trying to do. See, what if I would have had an attitude and just did things my way? Like, you know what, God, forget it. Forget it. I'm still going to get the next truck. I'm going to try the next truck. Then I would have been the one pinching pennies, trying to get somewhere, can't get ahead, probably more liabilities than assets. Overhead is trumping profit. And I would have been in more of a bind if I would have just did things my way. See, God will allow our plan to go only so far because He gonna protect His people. See, we gotta feel good a little bit. He gonna let us feel good just a little bit. But then, right before destruction happen, He gonna stop that plan. If you are aligned with Him and His will and His way, that's why you can't mishandle God people. God will place people in your life to tell you something that you might need so that you don't make the wrong mistake. Don't mishandle people. This is what you. It's why people be out here homeless, and people always wonder, oh, what? I'm not gonna get them money. I don't know what they're gonna go do with that money. They might go drink. They might go do this. They might go do that. What if they might go check themselves in somewhere or and turn their life around just because you gave them $2. 50 people that gave them $2 a day. They got enough for a room. They need to go detox. They might go check in somewhere. You don't know what. That's not your job. Your job is to not mishandle people. That's why they always say you never know how somebody else's day is going. You might have an attitude at you going through like McDonald's line and stuff. You don't know what them people going through. They People be barely making ends meet but working 50, 60 hours a week, barely able to pay their bills. You can't say they lazy. You can't they might not they might lack skill, they might lack the ability to get a job, they might have a background, they keep getting denied jobs. You don't never know what somebody's going through. That's why you don't mishandle people, especially not God's people, because you never know. Like that, like it says in the Bible, you might be entertaining an angel, you won't even know, and you've been messed up that blessing that you might have had you not mishandled that person, or had you not mishandled the blessing God sent you. That's why you should not mishandle God's people. I didn't want to make this episode too long. I definitely am ending the season soon. We only have about two more episodes. Two more episodes of Suddenly Still podcast for season one. We are going to end season one with 15 episodes. So if you have not already, make sure that you tune in on YouTube or all other major platforms that podcasts are on, like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, all those places every Tuesday at 6 p.m. EST. The last week in December will be the last new episode for Suddenly Still podcast. So make sure you go catch up on episodes 1 through 12. And if you are listening to this after the season is over, this will be a 15 episode season. So make sure that you catch up, comment, interact, follow us on all social media platforms at Suddenly Still Podcast. I am your host, Star Erica, and I definitely appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, or make sure you add this podcast to your podcast watch list if you're listening on Pandora, Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever else you're listening to this podcast on. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, millionaires. Have a great one.